Welcome to the Mentor Podcast, where the most highly motivated entrepreneurs come to get their weekly dose of financial stability with host Ron Legrand, as well as other nationally recognized thought leaders who will teach you how to get, grow, and protect your wealth.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mentor Podcast. I have beside me here a feller whose name is Nicholas Nick. That is your right name, right, Nicholas?
Right. That's right. Not a pseudonym. That is a birth name.
Nicholas Nick. And I'm not going to pick on him. I know he's been picked on his whole life for that name, so we'll leave it alone. His message here today, though, is how to generate leads to find sellers. And we are always interested in ways to find sellers. Obviously, that's the main part of our business. If we don't find sellers, we don't have a business. Yeah. And as you know, I teach, I got a list of things that they can do and people they can hire. So I'm very interested in seeing what you do and how it differs from anybody else and how we can use your system to generate leads. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why we should care what you say next.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Ron. It's really an honor here. And I'm sure you know that more than I do. But thank you for having me. I was really thankful that your team had reached out. And I'm lucky. A great way to start is my email says it all. My personal email is nicklikes2work@gmail.com. And, when you use our business, I own leadminingpros.com. And when you use my business, you find out how much I do like to work. The phone number on the website is my cell phone. So if you call me, you don't get a customer service representative, you get me. Okay. The live chat goes right to my cell phone. And so I am very involved with what I call hand-to-hand combat with everybody. I do not hide. I'm not a sniper in the bushes. I do not hide from my customers. I'm right here on the front line. And that has really allowed us to really become an industry leader over the last 5 years. Most importantly, me being that hands-on, I have come to know all the obstacles rather than my COO knowing some things and my customer service guy knowing some things. I know everything because I am the only person my customers have been talking to. And although that seems like a lot of work, it really hasn't been over the years I am the face and I'm the customer servicer, but I am not the cold caller. And I think that's what's important. So what I offer is really unique, and I offer it in two different really unique forms. One is I coined the phrase all-inclusive lead generation. And that's really because I love all-inclusive resorts. And I knew that I wanted to create something. All-inclusive resorts are the most expensive ones. And I wanted to create something that was really beautiful and provided a great service and really made people feel like they could get on with their business by hiring us. So the first thing I did was I paired up everything you need to execute a lead generation system. We pull the list, we skip trace it, we cold call it, and we text message it. We do all of those things for you. You don't have to worry about anything. I tell you the best list to pull, which is for cold calling, absentee owners with 30% or greater equity. Mm-hmm. Okay. I tell you the best list to pull. Okay. We have amazing skip tracing. Our skip tracing by itself is only 7 cents per search. And we have proven statistics because we cold call that our phone numbers get the right person on the phone over 85% of the time. And that's another huge stat. Then I offer cold callers in two forms. And I'm one of the only people that does this. I offer real life Americans. And I don't mean expatriates. Okay, that is not what I mean. Everyone on my American team is guaranteed to live right here in American soil with us. Most of my Americans, to be honest with you, are single mothers because this is an amazing opportunity for them to all work from home and just work on their own time. So I have about 6 single mothers that work for me, and they absolutely love it. Then we also text message. So we take everything off of your plate and everything is done for you. we don't just text blast. We text blast and we manage all the replies for you. And then we send you the entire transcript of the lead,
All right, stop.
Yeah.
So let's recap. Okay. You are going to pick the list, call the list, and then text the ones you can't get a hold of.
We actually do everything simultaneously. We don't do it in a sequence.
All right. But I want to target to where I want you to call.
Yeah.
Okay. So how we do that?
Yeah. So you provide me with all of the criteria, like the zip codes and the equity amounts. You can get as specific as you want, if that makes sense. So I actually go into your territory, and then I will pull your exact leads.
Okay. So I pick the zip codes, which is the way I'm going to pick the price range of the houses I want to work on, the low end or the medium or the high end or whatever. All right. And then your favorite target is out-of-town owners that are vacant. And mine too. That's always been one of the favorite targets. There's several others. Okay. So if we want to test other types of lists, you can do that as well.
Absolutely.
The list. All right. So now you call the seller, and what do you say to the seller?
So we have this awesome script, and I'll cover it with you. I'm real fast with it, but we have this awesome script where we ask 14 questions and we focus on the property, and the questions get more difficult as time goes on, right? So we're kind of building rapport with them, and because of such, the questions are getting more difficult. So here's our script, and it has been chiseled out of 5 years of cold calls, but check it out. We start exactly like this. We say, hey, I'm sorry to bother. I'm looking for the owner of 123 Sycamore Street. Oh, yeah, that's me. Oh, wonderful. Well, my name's Nicholas, and I was wondering, have you ever considered selling before? Okay. Here, we purposefully do two things. One, we talk really slow because I think America autopilots to hanging up, get off the phone. Two, we say, ever considered selling. And what that does is that makes them go, and in that hesitation is where new leads lie. So there's some ninja tips for the listeners.
Stop there.
Yeah.
What you didn't mention that I see in your script is extremely important. You didn't say, hi, is this Mary? And yet you got a woman on the phone. Who the hell else could it be? All right.
Right. Yeah.
And then the next one I hate. How are you today? Instant telemarketer. And I love the way you opened it, because now you immediately got their attention.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great you say that. I tell my clients to never address them by name. Their name does not matter. The fact that they own the property is all that matters to you. Then you ask them their name, if anything. Okay.
Right.
It's fun. We're definitely alike in that regard. So then if we get 2 yeses, we're in. Okay. So to us, a lead is anyone who wants to sell now or in the future. So no matter what, our clients are going to get the lead if that client says yes, no matter what they say next. Okay. And that's important. So people say, oh, Nick, this lead isn't qualified or whatever it might be. And I say, what we do is we ask qualifying questions. And then you have to read those questions and answers and then qualify the lead for yourself. I think in my book, and I bet yours too, Ron, anyone who's interested in selling is a lead. It's now our job to get them where we want them to be, if that makes sense.
All right. So give me the rest of the questions.
Okay. So the next 12 questions are there any general repairs needed on the house? Okay, well, let's get into it. Yes. Have you ever considered selling? Yes. How much do you want to offer? Oh, well, look, normally we don't make an offer until we find out that you're interested. But now that we know you are, if you got a couple minutes, I'd love to ask you some questions. Sure. Mm-hmm. So then we have 12 questions. Any general repairs needed on the house? How old is the roof? When was the kitchen remodeled? Is there a tenant in the property? Is there a mortgage on the property? If so, how much is left? If not, are you open to owner financing? What is your reason for selling the property? What is your current timeline to sell? How much do you want for the property? Is there a better phone number for you? Is there a good email address for you? All right, great. Thank you for all the information. I'm going to get this right over to my partner, Ron, and he's going to give you a call in 24 hours, and he's probably going to want to come out and see the house.
Okay. Could you add one more in there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Their monthly payment.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Right after the loan amount. Yeah. And, you might want to add another one.
Okay.
We ask, is the house listed?
Okay.
Now my VAs are going to ask those questions anyway when they call them. So your lead is going to come hopefully to my people who have our VA, and the VA is going to call them back and fill out property information sheet. And then we'll go do the closing call. But some people want to just do it themselves.
Right.
But either way, we can get that when we call out. So I would like the payment, but we don't need to know whether it's listed or not, because we're going to make sure that we ask them that. Okay. And then we'll ask them the number of bedrooms and baths, the square footage, and what's the construction of the house, and is there any association dues? That's all on our property information sheet.
Okay, gotcha.
Right? Okay. So, the obvious question is that everybody listening is going to want to know, and that is, what does this cost, Nicholas?
Well, this is actually the best news. Okay. I have packages that range all over every budget. My smallest package is $305, and you can split that up over 1 week, 2 weeks, or 4 weeks. So that could last a whole month if that's all your budget is. Or my biggest package goes up to $6,300. If I don't know if you can give me a screen share, but I could visit my website and show a brief overview.
I wouldn't have any idea how to do that, sir.
Not a problem. Not a problem. There might be some magical tool, but yeah. So basically, the way it works is, if anyone visits there, they'll see that I offer two different sets. I offer Americans or Filipinos. Okay, and then you get to pick which team you want. On top of that, I have 4 different package sizes that fit any budget. No contracts, no commitments, and no sign-up fees. I know a lot of people out there charge $1,500 to $3,000 to hire a team like mine.
Yep.
With me, it's a single purchase. And one of the bigger benefits that make us a really unique offering, Ron, is that all my customers get me. And so I offer free coaching or consulting on all of our leads.
All right.
I also
give me the prices of the package and what, because you're charging by the number of leads you get. Are you charging by the lead, or are you charging by the number of dials and contacts?
We charge by the number of effort done. So our main package is that one for 305 comes with 625 records pulled and skip traced, 1,000 foreign cold calls, and 500 text messages. What we're assuming is the 625 records become 500 phone numbers, and then we dial everyone 3 times, which is about 1,000 dials, and we text message everyone one initial time. Then,
what percentage of that 1,000 pick up the phone?
So right now, contact rates are down since COVID. So we are experiencing right now a 6 to 9% contact rate.
6 to 9%?
Yeah.
Wow, that is low.
It is
really low. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our VAs are getting a 40-some% contact rate, but those are actually leads that advertise their house for sale.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Follow-up calls. So with us, our industry, 5 years ago, the industry average on cold calling was about 10 to 13% on cold calling. Since COVID hit and everyone started hammering everyone's phones, it has dropped. The good news is our lead average has actually remained the same. So the way our numbers work, since we've been open for so long, everything's actually pretty predictable and I'm kind of a math nerd. So I'm really big on KPIs. But so the foreign team averages 1 to 4 leads per 500 dials.
For 500 dials?
For 500 dials, yeah.
Contacts?
Dials.
Okay. So you think you get 2 leads out of 1,000 dials?
That's correct. 2 leads is the low side of the average, and 8 leads is the high side. What I tell my clients to do is to understand if they think their market is saturated, they're going to be closer to 2. If they think their market is rural, they're going to be closer to 8.
Yeah. It's definitely going to go by market.
Exactly.
And by the times that are going on around us, by the time of the year, because some months are good, some months are not so good. Dialing them on Christmas Eve, probably not that great of an idea. I bought 2 houses on Christmas Eve, just saying.
Wow.
Yeah, people are always looking if they're looking.
Yes, they are.
All right. So what about these texts? When you text them, what percent of those would you actually get a lead?
So the texting leads, our average is 0 to 2 leads per 500 texts, is what we see.
So it's reasonable to say your $305 package, we would probably get, not guaranteeing anything, but at least 3-4 leads maybe.
Yeah. So our average on that, I'm actually going to pull it up right now. Everything is listed on the site too. So if anyone is wondering, they can see that, but I'll pull it up. So that package averages for $305, anywhere from 2 to 10 leads.
Really? Okay. Yeah. All right. So, all right, let's break this down to math for people that are having heartburn over actually spending money. I've taught for a long time, if you want to succeed in this business, that you have got to actually spend money to get qualified leads. And these are qualified leads. Okay. Qualified leads are when the seller calls you or when somebody calls them and gets them to say, yes, they want to sell. Unqualified leads are people that advertise on the internet. We furnish those leads to you, but they're very low quality. And you got to go through a lot more of them to get a deal than you do the kind of leads that you're producing here. So I could ask you, out of that many leads, how many deals would you expect to get? But I know the answer. That depends on who's making the call and who's following up.
It is, but I do have some data. So, I am kind of a math nerd. And because I've been talking to all my customers for 6 years, I do know some numbers. Okay.
Good.
And if you are averaging leads, which is good, first of all, we want to make sure we're getting leads before we continue, right? But if you are getting consistent lead flow, then what I tell people is my best clients get a contract 1 in every 12 leads. My best. My average client is going to get a contract 1 in every 16 to 20 leads.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I
was just doing some math. If I spend $305 and I only get 5 leads, that's only $60 a lead.
Right.
The best leads that I know are somewhere between $150 and $200 a lead.
Right. Yeah.
So that's a cheap lead, very cheap lead.
Oh, it is.
But we need to make a point here, Nicholas, because we've thrown out numbers.
Yeah.
Those numbers are going to vary.
Yeah.
And if you spend $305 and you don't get a deal and you quit, you might as well not even start wasting your money. Because the truth is, he can generate leads. I have no doubt of that, but I'm concerned about what are you going to do with them when you get them. That's where the system fails. So if you're not trained to call these leads and you're not using scripts and you don't know what to do and you don't know what to ask, don't waste the money, because you're literally going to waste the money. And I see people doing that all the time. You can't throw money at this and make it work. So your system is basically cheap. So tell me about the other big packages that you got. So you went up to $6,300.
Yeah, absolutely. So our bigger packages, we call the 10-week Titan. Okay. And we could actually do it over any amount of weeks. I just think 10 weeks is such a good number. It spaces the campaign out. So I offer an American and a foreign version. The American version is $6,375. The foreign version is $3,870.
What do you mean foreign version?
So I actually have a team of Filipinos and Indians that you can hire, or a team of Americans that live here in the United States.
But do the Filipinos speak fluent English?
Oh, yeah. The Filipinos are amazing.
Okay. Yeah, they are. I mean, we use some of them ourselves, but they do have to speak fluent English.
Yeah.
Are you?
Well, I can tell you, I have a joke with Filipinos, and I say the first 6 months is a complete nightmare because you're working out so much of the language that they aren't used to. The good news about my team is they've been cold calling for me specifically. My average team member's been with me for 3.5 years.
No kidding.
So, yeah. So
what I heard was I'd choose the Filipinos and save a bunch of money.
Yeah.
All right. Because the truth is, it doesn't matter. It only matters how many leads I'm going to get for that $3,800. Okay.
That's right.
So now what does that package buy me in as far as production?
So now with that one, 3875, you get 10,000 records pulled and skip traced. We do all that for you. You tell us where we pull them. Then we do 15,000 foreign cold calls and 7,500 text messages. Now we can do that over 5, 10, 20, or 30 weeks, whatever the client chooses.
And that depends on how the client set up to handle the leads.
That's right.
So what is the predictability of, so 10,000 records you said you pulled?
Yeah.
So you make more calls, but we've still got 10,000 records.
That's right.
How many leads on the average would you think that would produce?
So that one is 20 to 120 is that average. And I know that's broad, but that's fairly just as broad as the 1 to 4. That's just what the numbers look like multiplied out, So 20 would be the minimum, and then 120 is the maximum. I do have that I just created last week. I have a closed deal guarantee on those leads or on that package. If you buy the biggest package and you do not close a deal, I will give you 20% more completely free. So you get another 20% more lead gen completely free from that package.
Okay. Well, I just figured out that if I only get 20 leads, I'm about $180 some a lead.
Yeah.
All right. So let's play this math. Because frankly, that's about the industry standard. I want to know the truth. All right.
For the minimum, yeah.
Our listeners need to hear this because this is really what they need to be focusing on instead of the cost of the lead. And that is, what's the value of the lead?
Right.
All right. So you're calling a list. Some of those are going to be junker deals that or you're going to get a low price on because they're all cash. Those are wholesale deals for most people. All right. Minimum profit on that's going to be $15,000. I mean, I wouldn't touch a wholesale deal. We just did one for $37,000.
Right.
And, $20,000 is probably about the norm for anybody who's been trained. So if I have to call 10 people and I only got 20 leads and I spent $180 a lead, I'm spending $3,600 to get 20,000.
Right.
And that's all you guys need to focus on, assuming you're going to not waste these leads. All right. If I'm in the terms business, like I am, some of those people are going to want terms. And, I don't touch a deal for less than a $20,000 upfront non-refundable deposit. So the same numbers apply. But in the terms business, I keep getting paid over and over and over for years and years and years in multiple different ways because I'm keeping the house and putting a tenant buyer in it. So all in all, the cost of generating these leads is not the big thing you should focus on. And I'm going to tell you from a lot of years of experience in several different businesses, there is no way to get a customer without paying for them. One way or the other, you're going to pay for them. Even when I had restaurants, I had to spend money every month to get people to come into the restaurant. Yeah. So I like what you do, Nicholas. So, Nicholas, how do people get a hold of you if they want to learn all the goodies about your service and what comes in each package and what it costs and what they get and all of that?
Yeah. So what you guys want to do is you want to visit thementorpodcast.com/lead mining. Okay. And that will take you right to the site. I also created a coupon code for everybody. And if you guys use the coupon code Legrand Slam, you will save $1 on your order and get a 10% bonus, which means you will actually make 10% more dials. If you buy 10,000 dials, we
Legrand Slam. I like that. Huh? You come up with that? I like that.
I did. Right before this call, I just came up with it.
I might have to steal that, though. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, please do.
Again, the Mentor Podcast /lead mining and use the code word Legrand Slam. I love it. All right. What else do we need to know from you? I mean, I could go through all the packages, but they can go on the website and get them all. We went to the smallest one. We went to the highest one. And look, I'm going to say it again, guys. Don't give him $6,300 unless you can follow up on that lead after you get it. I hate to see people spending money in this wasting it. Okay. So you need to know what to do with that lead. You got ugly houses and you got pretty houses. Okay. I work both sides of the business. Okay. The ugly houses is really easy. What's the least you could take? Is that the best you can do? That's pretty much your question. Sorry. And how kind of shapes the house in. But the pretty house has a script to determine whether it'll take terms or not. And you should get that script. In fact, you can probably get that script on my website, ronlegrand.com, and check out Gold Club, ronsgoldclub.com, and that's where we got all of our resources and agreements and all of the scripts and so forth. So this is a piece of valuable information. I am going to add you to my list of people who can contact sellers. And frankly, I'm going to put you at the top of that list, and we're going to test you as well ourselves. Okay, so you can look forward to Tish Hill will be her name contacting you, and you're going to give her a deal like you've given no one else, right, Nicholas?
That's right.
Yeah, that's the right answer. All right, all right. Okay. Anything else you want our listeners to know?
So I think that there's really one big other benefit that I offer everything. And I alluded to a little bit earlier, and that's really getting me as a resource. Mm-hmm. I've literally handled every single lead gen campaign myself for the last 6 years. I know what they look like. I know how to help my clients overcome obstacles. So here's one thing we offer two things that no one else does in our space. One, I have a satisfaction guarantee. All right. So if you get leads and you're dissatisfied, you're going to meet with me. I'm going to make it right. I'm going to give you 20% more of whatever you purchased if you're dissatisfied to make it right. So no one will ever use me and be dissatisfied. And my answer is spend more money. So I just want to share that with everyone. Okay. Number two, the best thing that I offer is at the end of every week, you're going to get an email from us telling you your stats from the whole week. And in that email is a Calendly link to book a call with me to meet one-on-one about your campaign. And my team pulls a whole deep dive database, and then I cover all your KPIs with you from the campaign and tell you exactly what I would do next to make the results better or keep them consistent.
All right, well, I'm going to give them my recommendations. That is, hire Nicholas, pick your package, tell him where you want them to call, and get out of the way and let them do what they do best. And you don't need to be involved in other details. You don't need to be picking the list. You can discuss the list. Just get out of the way. Constantly tell people, let other people do what they do best, and get the hell out of the way and let them do it so you can do what you do best. What you do best is take these leads and follow up on them, and pick out the ones that want to do business with you, whack the rest, and go out and get a contract. That's what you do with them. But it starts with good quality leads like these. I got a question for you, Nicholas.
Yes, sir.
Maybe we can have a contest or something so that the winner could come in and paint that wall behind you. How about that?
We got a couple of blank walls.
What did you do? Spill paint all over that thing or what, man?
Look at this. I like things weird. I'm actually surrounded by murals in here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I keep it weird.
I like colorful things, kind of like my shirt, but sitting here looking at you with that behind you, ooh, that's a lot of color.
It's a color explosion.
Yeah. So anyway, so what? All right. Well, listen, it's been fun having you on here, and you will be hearing from us, and I know you'll be hearing from our listeners as well as soon as we get this thing posted. And probably going to have you in our upcoming summit. Has anybody contacted you about that?
Not yet.
Okay.
I am in an email chain with Debbie and Nicholas Kuvatsos at the moment.
Cool. All right. Well, Debbie will be contacting you because I want to interview you, and it's only about a 15-minute interview, but that's enough to tell you what you do.
Yeah.
And
I have a feeling Debbie mentioned that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll see you on that. And thanks for taking the time with me today, and
absolutely
thanks for bringing this to our group.
You did. You were awesome. This is an awesome video. This is going to serve me so well. I can't thank you enough, Ron, for all those great things you said. So thank you.
Thank you.
That's all for this edition of the Mentor Podcast. To connect with Ron and learn how you can attain financial freedom, as well as up-to-date strategies to grow and protect your wealth based on today's discussion, go to www.connectwiththementor.com.